All right, folks, it looks like I ran into some technical difficulties with my recording software. So the previous video ended right after the last step we actually did was set up metric beat. So our next step that we're actually going to be doing is going to be starting it up. So let's see where we're at here. So we did the setup. Now we're actually going to go ahead and set it for auto start and start the service all in one swoop, one command. And do a sudo systemctl status metric beat. And we're seeing it's active and running. Cool. We'll get Q to get out of that. Move right on along. And next we're going to do is go back into our browser. We're going to navigate to management, hit the hamburger, go to management and stack monitoring. So that will be, we're here, hamburger, management, we'll go down and stack monitoring. And what do we got? Now, this portion right here, you may see this screen here that says set up monitoring with metric beat. It may have actually done so in the background. Yep, so it's already detected metric beat running. So we'll just go ahead and hit continue here. Make sure the yeses set is selected. Hit continue. And we'll hit create. Got our little circle thing here going. So we won't have to worry about this. We're not in setup mode just because it already detected it. So we already did the create rules. And we're not in setup mode, so we don't have to worry about that piece. The next thing we're going to do, we move back here, make sure. Cool. Yep, we're out of setup mode. So the next thing we're going to be doing is the final portion of our sim setup, and that is setting up file beat. So let's go ahead and get that started. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste in here, and we'll download the appropriate version of file beat. And unpack it and start installing. While we're waiting on that, we're going to look at our next steps. We're going to edit the /se/filebeat/filebeat YAML file. And it's going to be very similar steps to what we did when we were configuring metric beat. Matter of fact, these first few steps are almost exactly the same, with the exception of the path of the file we're editing. So I'll go ahead and get this on my clipboard, because we're just about done here. All right, we can go ahead and paste that in. Let's get to editing. I'm going to look for the Kibana section. Just page down. Page down. Here we go. Kibana. Same as before. It shows you the localhost with the port. We're going to get rid of all of that and replace it with the actual HTTPS fully qualified domain name, no port. I happen to have it on my notepad here. And then immediately below this line, we're going to add all of this. You'll have to make sure you fix the alignment. These are all lined up the same. So I'll bring that in, bring these back, and bring these back. Find the Elasticsearch output section. So page down. Here we go. This is also going to be replaced with that HTTPS fully qualified domain name, no port. Go ahead and get that back here. And then we're going to paste these final things below. Or no, excuse me. This section here is what we just did. So now we're going to change our username. We're going to uncomment it. It's already set to Elastic. We're going to uncomment the password. We'll change it to the password we configured. And right below that, we're going to add this line here. And we're going to put our CA key, fingerprint, excuse me. That's aligned properly. And I'll go ahead and do this. And I have my key up here. And that's how it should look. As we see here, I have both the Kibana portion and then our Elasticsearch output portion. We're good with this. Control X, Y, and enter. Now we're going to go ahead and enable the Elasticsearch module for FileBeat. And just for kicks, I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to do a sudo cat, and then we'll get this here because I want to show you what we're actually going to do here. So this shows the contents of this file. What we're doing is taking every last one of these falses here. There's 5 of them. We're going to change them to true, but we're going to do that using the streaming editor command, sed. So everything that says false, replace false with true. Enter. And now when we rerun the cat command, now we have all of them say true. So we're done with that piece. Now we're going to run FileBeat setup. This was a little simpler than the metric beat one. At this point, it is injecting indexes, loading dashboards into Kibana. As it states, Kibana must be up and running. And then it will load dashboards will be loaded and ingest pipelines will be created. At this point, I will pause because I know this is going to take a little bit. We'll return, and after we return, the steps we'll be doing is enabling setting FileBeat to auto enable. And then from there, we got one more step, which is where we go into our development tools and enter this command here, which will set the number of replicas within Elasticsearch to 0. And that'll be our last step. This is the end result we should get. But I'll show you that when we get there. Come back up to here. I'll be back. And we're back. As I said, these are the setup of FileBeat is complete. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and set the service to auto start and start at the same time. We'll go ahead and get that going. And verify that it is running. It actually is. And now we're going to do our last step in the browser. So we're going to go to our hamburger, go down to management and development tools. What we want, we're going to copy this in and take note of these lines, these here. You should be able to paste this as is and make one change. So we're going to first paste this in. Let's get to that location. So hamburger, down to our management and development tools. We'll dismiss this message here. This is your output side. So what you want to do is take this input and we'll clear that. And we'll paste this in. And actually I want to say the only thing we have to set is that this only, because of the format of the website that we were copying this from, it needs one more space. So we want it to look like that. Everything else is fine. And then to play this, or to enter that command, which is setting the replicas to 0, you hit play. And when we hit play, what we want to see is this on the other side. So basically it's going to look just like that. You'll get a 200 OK. So when we play that, there it is, acknowledge true, 200 OK. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we have set up our detect node. So it took a little bit, but now the heart of our seam, so if we look back at this diagram, we'll go here. This guy's fully set up for the moment. Join me for our next video, which we're going to be setting up our identify node, which is our Kali Violet virtual machine. And hopefully I get a chance to see you guys on the next video. Let's continue to have some fun.